Good morning, Periscope. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing this wonderful Wednesday morning? I had to think about it. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope this morning is treating you well. If you're new to me, if you're watching the replay, thanks for taking the time out. I do appreciate it. Feel free to follow me with this little guy here and send up some hearts. I love to see the colors. So, I am Latoya. I am Latoya Nelson. I'm a therapist here in Raleigh. I am also a mindset coach for ambitious women who are ready to rewrite their story and become the victor, not the victim. So I help with mindset. I help with you help developing a positive self-belief so that translates into your life and success, and it blossoms to something that's wonderfully amazing. So today I want to thank you. I thank you, Lori. I thought I'd switch it up a little bit, have some New Year here. But I wanted to come today and talk about failing to plan. You know, with the new year coming up, it's always that opportune time to say, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and figure out what my goals are for the new year. So for 2016, I've been planning out my goals for the last couple of weeks. And what I found out is that in working with some of the clients that I have, when I ask them about what their goals are, what their plan is, because I don't think it's enough just to have goals. I am a believer that things written down, like literally pen and paper, not just kind of in your phone on a notepad or on a sticky note, but actually written down, is super powerful. And the fact that you can see it day in and day out is what's really going to help you reach those goals. So in talking with my clients, a lot of them say, well, I want to do A, B, and C in 2016. I want to do such and such. I want to make this much. I want to impact this much. But there's no plan. There's no written down, like, this is how I'm going to do it. A plus B equals C. And that is where, even before 2016, you're already planning to fail. If you don't have a way to meet your goal, you're not going to meet your goal. And it's the same as when you go on and take a trip. If you're going to drive to California, you don't just get in your car and say, well, I'm just head west. I'm just go west, and I'll just head west and I'll get there. You want to get in your car and know that I'm going to take 40. I'm going to just do this. I'm going to hop on a plane. You know exactly how to get there. The same thing is for your life, for your business, for your relationship. Even I got down so minuscule to plan out what my goals were for my relationship, for my marriage, where I wanted me and my husband to be. I included him to see where we wanted to be at the end of 2016 and how we wanted to get there. Whether we wanted to have better communication, whether we wanted to have more family time with the kids. That way we can plan out as we go month to month if we're on track. You don't want to get to the end of 2016 and think, gee, I didn't do nothing. And you had all these days, 365 days, and you accomplished nothing. And it turns out you were just spinning your wheels. And I imagine that right now you're figuring out that you could have done more. You could have done more with 2015. I know personally, I could have done more with 2015. I had amazing 2015. So much happened in my life, in my business, that it was amazing 2015. But there's certain things where you're just like, gee, to be honest with yourself, I could have done more, or this could have been an opportunity. And you don't want to get to the end of 2016 thinking that same thing. Ultimately, we want to progress. Yes, definitely, Lori. Ultimately, we want to progress. We want progression in our life, in our business, in our career. We want to not look back and think, gee, I'm in the same place. And the only way you're going to get that is with a plan. And that's probably the most unfun part of having a goal, is the planning piece. Because instead of, imagining how great it is when you meet this goal, how good it's going to feel, you have to sit down and figure out, well, gee, what's in my way? How can I meet the goal? That the not so fun part of the work. In America, and I think just as humans, we want what we want when we want it. And if you are ambitious, you know that it does take a little bit of work. So I encourage you to really sit down and figure out what is the step by step. And then what I've done personally is figured out where I wanted to be at the end of 2016 and then mapped it out each quarter. So each quarter I know that, okay, at the end of the first quarter, where am I at? What do I need to do? Do I need to tweak this? Do I need to add that? Did I meet a goal already? And then also each month, you can say, okay, at the end of January, how are you? Where are you at? If you want to make a particular income, you know that to make that at the end of the year, you need to be making something each month, maybe each week. And then that's going to outline what activities you do. If you know that you want to have better communication with your loved one, your spouse, your husband, you know that you should at least be hanging out with them weekly, going on date nights, maybe planning some vacations throughout the year. There's things where, well, let me say this. We often fail ourselves when we have a goal and we just say, well, I want this, but we don't actually do anything to say, how am I going to get it? And then we disappoint ourselves when we think back and think, well, gee, I really wanted A, but I don't have it yet. And you realize that, well, I haven't done anything to get A. I just had a idea. And sometimes, and oftentimes, an idea is enough. You have to have a plan. And surely you've heard that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that is so true in so many areas of our life. If you don't plan it out, it's not going to happen. Because life happens. And you have this goal of making money or spending time with your husband, and then life happens. And then all of a sudden, your mind is someplace else. Your mind is on that emergency. So the other piece of this that I want you to understand is that it's not enough just to write it down. You have to have reminders. I personally, the piece that I do use my phone for is the reminders. I have alerts. I have appointments that I schedule with myself to evaluate how things are going. So at the end of the month, a little appointment goes up, and I know that I've blocked out a couple of hours to address my goals and address my progress and figure out what the plan is for the next month. So that in my calendar, I can make sure I'm notating when I'm doing this, when I'm doing that, what I'm looking at, and I plan for the next little business meeting with myself. That keeps me accountable. So you have to put things in place that help you reach your goals. Because ultimately, unless you have a coach that's helping you be accountable, unless you have family that's involved, unless you have employees that are asking you these things, you have to make sure that you put things in place to make it easy on you. So with only a few more days left in 2015, I would encourage you to really sit down and, one, figure out what your goals are for 2016. And I don't want you to just think, oh, I need to go small. I want you to go big. I want you to go so big that it's scary. And then I want you to figure out how to get there, because it's possible. You can never go too big. If you want to make $1 million in 2016, well, you can do it as long as you know how to. And people are doing it right now. And I think that's the biggest thing. You have to understand that your goals are never too big because somebody's already done it. So it can be done. And you don't have that goal just on a whim. You have that goal because you're capable of doing it. It's just a matter of putting the pieces to the puzzle and figuring out. So I want you to go big. I want you to write it down. I want you to plan it out. And then I want you to set up systems in your life, alerts on your phone, sticky notes on your refrigerator that keep you focused, that keep you in tune, and to keep you getting it done. Because I want 2016 to be the best that it is, because it's going to be the best for me. I'm planning it out right now. So I want you to do the same. And if you're having trouble with figuring out your goals, with fear, and you're ready to change your story into one where you win, where you're successful, I want you to contact me. Right now, I am opening up my calendar for free 30-minute clarity calls for women who are serious about meeting their goals in 2016 and who don't want to be held back by their fear. So I want you to visit my website, latoyanelson.com/clarity-call. and sign up for a clarity call. I have some time on my schedule before the beginning of the year. I want to go ahead and get you and your goals planned out, and I want us to map out a successful 2016 for you so that mindset isn't an issue, so that fear isn't an issue, so that you may feel fear but still move through it and still act. I know I'm going to be successful. That's the only thing I can be, and I want you to be the same. So check out my website, LatoyaNelson.com, and I look forward to seeing you on the next scope. Thanks for watching the replay. Remember, you can still heart it up and share, and I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday.